Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out on such a beautiful evening to make the city stronger. This is the 8th of 12 sessions. We'd like to acknowledge the presence of our elected official, Council Member Dr. Amelia Ross Hammond this afternoon, and we thank you for being with us. My name is Carolyn Dillard, and I'm joined by my colleagues Jane Dittmar and Elise Dowdy. We are with the University of Virginia's Weldon Cooper Center, and we're teaming up with your City of Virginia Beach to facilitate tonight's evening. So for a few housekeeping items, restrooms are through that door and right down to your left, down the hall. We ask that you silence your phones. If you do receive a call, if you could take that outside of the room, we would greatly appreciate it. Now I will turn it over to Jane, who will share the roles for this evening.
Thanks, Carolyn. So our role as your facilitators is to make sure that your voice is heard and captured. So your input is very important. And our role also is to manage the time so that everyone that wishes to speak here or through live stream, because we're being joined by people virtually tonight, have a chance to give input. Your role is, if you're speaking, to come to the mic and speak within a 3-minute time limit. And if you're not speaking, or when you're not speaking, to listen respectfully. The purpose of tonight's meeting, as given to us by City Council, is to provide input on your experience with Virginia Beach's electoral system. And that will help them make good decisions later this summer about proceeding towards the 2024 election.
There are many ways your voice is being captured tonight. We will hear from all of you in the room. If anyone on live stream chooses to speak, we will capture their voice as well. Verbatim transcripts are being made of every word spoken, and a forever video is being made of each listening session. Facilitators will be taking notes in order to capture key findings from each listening session. Now, as far as next steps, after the scheduled listening sessions, key findings will be sent to council. A survey will be sent to a random sample of residents. If you do not receive the survey in the mail, you will have access to fill it out online. If you don't give comment tonight, but still would like the opportunity to share, you may do so a few different ways. You can go to speakupvb.com to leave a comment there. If you would prefer to use the phone, you can leave a voicemail at 855-925-2801. If for any reason or something comes up tonight not related to the listening session, the election, but you have other concerns in your community, you can leave a email at letter J Torres@vbgov.com. Now, in conjunction with the key findings from each listening session, the voicemails, any emails sent, the Weldon Cooper's legal team is putting together a report for council to explain the various legal options that council can take. Now, we want to thank you all for being here tonight and for engaging with your city to make it better. Before we begin to hear from all of you, I want to point your attention to the screen as we watch a video provided by your city to explain how we got here tonight.
Prior to 2022, our local election system remained mostly unchanged since 1967. The city charter defined our local election system as having 11 members. 4 were chosen at large with no residency requirement, including the mayor, and 7 more were elected at large, but had to reside within one of the former districts. The charter also stated that school board members would be elected in the same manner as their city council counterparts. In November 2017, a lawsuit was filed against the city. The suit alleged that the at-large system violated the Federal Voting Rights Act by diluting the voting power of minorities. Specifically, the plaintiffs contended that the former voting system diluted the voting strength of a coalition of Black, Hispanic, and Asian minority groups. The city defended the lawsuit, contending that no single minority group was large and compact enough to constitute a majority within a single voting district. The city also asserted that it was not reasonable to combine Black voters with Asian and Hispanic voters, since Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act did not authorize combining minority groups, and that the three minority groups specifically mentioned do not vote cohesively as one group. While the lawsuit was pending, the Virginia General Assembly considered and adopted legislation that would require changes to the election system, regardless of the outcome of the case. House Bill 2198 made it so that localities with district or ward-based residency requirements for members of a governing body must elect its members by the qualified members of that district or ward, and not by the locality at large. Further, House Bill 1890 and Senate Bill 1395, known as the Virginia Voting Rights Act, clarified that any at-large method of election shall not be imposed by the governing body in a manner that impairs the ability of a protected class to elect candidates of its choice or its ability to influence an election. Both pieces of legislation also apply to school boards. In March of 2021, the district court said that the city's voting system violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. The court concluded that the coalition claims were legally permissible and that the minority groups specifically mentioned in the case were politically cohesive. The court prohibited the city from using the former system in any future elections. Following the March 2021 ruling of the district court, a special master created new election district maps for the city using data from the 2020 census, ensuring they were equally populated. They were drawn in a manner that in the court's view would allow a sufficient majority of minority populations to facilitate the election of minority groups' candidates of choice, including the creation of 3 minority opportunity districts. Under the new 10-1 system, 10 city council members and 10 school board members are elected from each of the districts. Only the mayor continues to be elected at large and can reside anywhere in the city. The city appealed the district court's decision to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. In July of 2022, a 3-judge panel ruled that the lower court erred in its decision and vacated the district court's decisions and remedy. This decision left the city free to consider options other than the 10-1 system in future elections. However, it was too late to effectively implement a new system in time for the November 2022 election cycle. In November of 2022, residents went to the polls and cast their votes for the city council and school board candidates of their choice using the 10-1 system that had been ordered by the district court. 161,753 ballots were cast, and the outcome was the election of the city's most diverse slate of representatives. Since the court order that implemented the 10-1 system is no longer in effect, and the former system of electing local representatives is still on the books in the city charter, it became apparent that City Council would need to formally adopt a new method in time for the 2024 elections. In order to ensure that residents had a say in the direction that City Council opts to pursue, they passed a resolution in December of 2022 to begin a community engagement campaign to educate and inform residents on what legally viable options are available for the city. Following the community engagement period, Virginia Beach residents will be asked to participate in a survey in April. A random sampling of residents will receive a survey in the mail. However, an online version will be available to all residents, with results shared with council and the community this summer. In conclusion, a decision on our election system must be made by City Council in time for the 2024 election. Thank you for joining us today. This is your opportunity to provide input on city policy development and decision-making.
We want to thank Virginia Beach, the city of Virginia Beach, for producing that video. It really tells the story of your journey, the journey that brought you here tonight. We're about to begin the input portion of the meeting, which is obviously the most important part of the meeting. Let me tell you a little bit about how this is going to work tonight. First, you'll note up here there is a microphone. Your name will be called if you signed up to speak, and a second name will be called just to get you ready so you know that you will be in queue, and that should cut down a little on the lead time to get you to the mic. There will be a time limit of 3 minutes. We have a signal that goes off in 2 minutes and 45 seconds to let you know to wrap it up so you'll finish within the 3 minutes. Most speakers don't need 3 minutes, but in case you find yourself going long, that'll be a way for you to finish speaking your main points. When you're done, please return to your seat, or if what you reason why you came tonight was just to give your input, that's fine too. You can leave. Otherwise, stay and enjoy the comments from your fellow citizens. We are not here as facilitators to answer your questions tonight, but occasionally in the past listening sessions, there have been questions. Feel free to go up and ask them. That will be part of what City Council considers in terms of your questions that are top of mind. Finally and importantly, this has been working beautifully in the past listening sessions. We ask that there be no sound effects while someone is speaking. That is distracting to them. It is intimidating to future speakers, and it's confusing to our live stream visitors. But we do have a way for you to let us know that something that the speaker is saying resonates with you, that you support it. So if you will just raise your hand, we'll count them and we'll add that emphasis in our key findings for tonight. So I think we're ready to begin.
All right, good evening. Our first speaker is Carl Wright, and then the next speaker will be Melissa Lukeson. Okay, then I guess our first speaker is Melissa Lukeson. Okay. Going down the list, Jan Taylor will be our first speaker. Carolyn Kaywood. All right, after Carolyn Kaywood will be Georgia Allen.
You can tilt it down towards you.
Thank you for the opportunity to give some input. The point I want to make tonight is that for a long time I didn't think I would like having wards because I have friends on city council, people I have known and respected and want to see reelected. Well, it finally dawned on me that nothing prevents me from working for them, that I can make phone calls and give money and knock on doors and do all those things, so that in fact, if I'm feeling disappointed because I can only vote in one district, I'm not really limited. And that's the thought that I wanted to share tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our current speaker is Georgia Allen, and the next speaker will be Connor Epley.
Good evening. I am Georgia Allen. I'm a lifetime community activist here in the city of Virginia Beach, but I'm also a lifelong citizen of this city. And I'm here to speak in favor of the 10-1 district election system. I want to also thank UVA Weldon Cooper Center for Public Service for being here and putting this together, as well as our city council member. I do live in District 4, so our city council member is Dr. Amelia Ross Hammond. So I want to thank her for coming out as well. I support the system because it provides every citizen, regardless of who you are, with full representation, regardless of your income, regardless of your zip code, regardless of your race, creed, or color. It also provides an opportunity for our young people to run and perhaps get elected to office and serve without big money buying them and buying their vote. So it sets a new standard where young people can feel emboldened to run and serve their city because they love it. The other reason why, it affords the city the opportunity to have new voices, creative and innovative thought for both the now as well as the next generations. Those who are coming behind us should and must have a seat at the table without having to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a public servant. We want our young people to be public servants. This system affords all citizens that opportunity. As a reminder, this 10-1 system could also potentially help the city of Virginia Beach avoid more costly litigation, and we should and must move on. This is an excellent system. So again, I'm Georgia Allen, and I strongly support the 10-1 system, not just for now, but for the next generations, because they're going to be the ones that's making those decisions. And if we don't give them a training ground now, you know, when we're older and they're making those decisions, we might not like the outcome because we didn't properly prepare them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Our current speaker is Connor Epley, and then the next speaker will be Etheline Harris.
Good evening. My name is Connor Epley. I am a lifelong Virginia Beach resident. I'm a District 4 voter as well, and I am a proud graduate of Francis Anne High School. I am in full support of the 10-1 system. I think it makes the most sense for our city. I remember having to explain the old system and how confusing that was, that we had people who can run for these local district seats, but anyone in the city could vote for them. They didn't know who they could vote for, if they were allowed to or not. And like previous speakers have said, you know, candidates, school board candidates, city council candidates, candidates for mayor, they no longer have to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, a mortgage, to run for office. And I look at the results that we had from 2022 where we elected, like the video said, the most diverse city council and school board in our history, not just racially, but from professional background, educational background, socioeconomic status, age, everything. We have one of the most representative governing bodies in Virginia Beach now. And so I'm a full supporter of it. Every voter I've talked to when knocking on doors for candidates and just in my daily discussions with people don't want to go back to any other form of system. They want to stay in the 10-1 system. So I'm hugely in favor of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Etheline Harris.
Hello, I'm Etheline Harris, and I live in the district. Now, I had some concerns. However, I'm not really understanding what's going on here as far as the electrical system or whatever you guys are speaking on, but I'm learning. So I'm not for sure the old way or the new way, but now my eyes are open and I'm woke to see what's going on in our community, because I'm not appreciate what's going on in the community and what who's ever running the community, and I'm going to have my eyes open to who I'm going to vote for now because of high concerns that I do have. Now, I was invited down here to speak on my concerns, so it's a little confusing to come here to hear about election. So, yeah, so I don't know whether the old way or the new way. All I know is when elected officials do not come in our neighborhood, and I don't see them or know who they are until around elections. So, but my ears are open now, and I'm here to understand and to listen.
Thank you.
So there are no additional in-person speakers unless anyone's shown up and I have no one in the virtual speaker queue.
So we do have more time. If you're interested in making a comment or question at the mic, you may approach. Mhm. Please state your name at the mic.
Yes. Hello, my name's Glenn Gilman. I'm actually the president of the Thorogood Civic League, and I'm in favor of the 10 district. The main reason because we have one council member that he has to pay attention to our district, and being the Civic League president, he is going to be invited to our Civic League so our people can talk to him, ask him, and hold him accountable. If you have an at-large system, I think it just gets so blended, maybe everybody pays attention to the waterfront, and us in the quiet districts, I think, get left behind. So I'm all in favor of the 10 district for accountability.
Thank you. No rush.
So my name's Ken Lubeck. I'm in the 4th. And for the first time in my life, I ran for school board. I never run for anything in my life. And so last November, I ran for school board. And so I have voted before that here. I've been here about 25 years total. And I did like the fact that I could knock on doors and go places and go to the local area and find out the fact that District 4 is very different than somewhere else. So I could say things like, Bayside needs to be rebuilt. You spent $170 million on Kellam. Don't try to shortchange this side of town. That's just wrong. I also, just a little inside baseball, so that's school board. Unfortunately, most people still vote down party lines, and I don't think you should do that for school board. I'm just going to say that. You should listen to the people. It's not a political thing for school board. It shouldn't be. It should be, how do you help the most kids be the most successful when they leave school? And just as a side note on those issues, and I'll get back to what we're here for, Betty F. Williams has just as one example, but it's true all over. There's a 12% difference in reading levels amongst different racial groups. That's unacceptable. That is the part that I agree with as far as equity of opportunity. That's why we have public schools. I mean, obviously in high school, kids are going to end up in different places. I was a 3.9 average at Regent, but when I was in high school a long time ago, I was an average student. I deserve to be in the middle of class rank. I'm glad they brought back class rank and Val Sal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not going to hurt anyone's feelings. It's like saying, let's not play sports anymore because people are going to lose and their feelings will get hurt. But anyway, so I really hope the school board and you all hold them accountable to making sure that because if you don't have the reading levels right in elementary school, you're at a huge disadvantage for everything else. So everybody wants to talk about the frivolous stuff, and even though I know we should rebuild this building, it's about the kids. So for city council, from listening to candidates, people who won and lost, there's still a huge amount of money that comes in. In some cases,
15 seconds.
Okay. People are invited to donors locally, and they're told, I'll give you $30,000 if you vote this way. And a friend of mine who won said, no, I'm not doing that. So we need to be very careful. Look at who people are donating. Where are you getting your donations? So thank you very much. I do like the system where it's localized. Thanks.
Thank you.
We've had some additional registered speakers. Ada Schimmel, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that.
You can turn the mic down.
to a system where if you vote for city council people, the people in that district vote for the person that's running there. I think that's a good idea, because before, I mean, you have everybody that's, you know, everybody could vote for everybody. It seemed kind of unfair because the people in certain districts were being left out. So I like the way they changed it. I hope they keep it that way. And I came here because I thought they were trying to change it back to the old way. Am I right? Okay, and so I want to keep it the way it is now. So the new thing was an improvement, so let's keep it the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two additional speakers. Frank Carestasi, again, apologies if I'm mispronouncing, and then Ella Dunbar.
Hi. I may be off topic. I just got here a little bit late, but I just want to ask that the city leaders time some of the streetlights better on the main thoroughfares like Virginia Beach Boulevard, Witch Duck Road, Independence Boulevard, First Colonial Road. And I would also like to ask that in the evening time that they change lights so that instead of us sitting at a stop street with a red light and there's no traffic coming after maybe 9, 10 o'clock at night, that the red light becomes a blinker and you come to a complete stop, you check for safety, and then you can go through rather than sitting there wasting gasoline, polluting the environment, and wasting our own precious time. Those are my two suggestions for the city.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ella Dunbar.
Good evening. I just come forth again to say I'm in favor of the 10-1 system because everybody can have representation. I think I'm reminded of the book of Matthew where it says where your heart is where your treasure is. And what I've noticed the city doing, I've lived in Virginia Beach all my life, is that they're taking care of certain areas and not taking care of other areas. They're destroying certain neighborhoods or letting the property values go down so low till everything's just so dilapidated. So when a developer comes in and says, I'll give you this amount of money and then build $1 million homes or whatever they want to build, and I know what these people get paid for their homes is nothing compared. I mean, they can't move anywhere really decent for that amount of money. So I think it would be great to continue with the system that we currently have so that there's someone that is accountable to you. And if they live in your district, they don't want their property values going down either. So you shouldn't have neighborhoods that you drive by and you drive really kind of fast or whatever, and you just let certain things go on. So, you know, like I said, I do think the recreation centers are an example. And I'll say it again, if you look at Bird Neck Road with people that the city said, well, they just wanted meeting rooms. If you never knew what was available to you, you know, if you're starving and somebody gives you a sandwich, you're like, oh God, I finally got a sandwich. But then next door, there's a buffet. So that's what we've been doing in this city for quite a long time. And I'm not poor now, but I know what my neighborhood was when I was growing up. And I thank God that I've been able to do some of the things that I want to do. But I don't understand how the city can expect people to thrive and rise above their circumstances with no support in where they live, no facilities where they live, no access where they live. Even if it just comes down to, I don't know why they keep saying that they can't do anything about the transit system in the city. You gotta think about the people who don't have access, people in wheelchairs. One of the saddest things I saw during the last major snow we had several years ago was a person on Lynn Haven Parkway sitting at the bus stop across from Lynn Haven Mall and sitting in the street waiting to catch the bus, sitting in the right travel lane because it was a bus stop, but there's no shelter there.
15
And
seconds.
the person was sitting in their wheelchair, just in, facing the flow of traffic, sitting in the street. We can do better. And a lot of other places, you see people just standing out in the absolute rain. Old people, young people, handicapped people. We should expect more, and we deserve more. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another speaker, Henderson Vaughn.
Good afternoon. My name is Henderson Vaughn. I was formerly an owner of a nightclub in Virginia Beach right down the street called Club Picasso's. It was open for 14 years. But due with the politics of the city, they shut me down. It was the largest club in the history of Virginia Beach, owned and operated by a black family. If we go back to the system that they are talking about going back to that lodge, we have no representation. We have no representation when it comes to Afro-American businesses. We have to do better than what we did before. It's about progress, and progress that can only happen when you got the right people in place. Y'all are not sitting here because you want to listen to me. It's because of the system they are trying to change. And that's what Martin Luther King gave his life for. So when you're looking at progress, it's not about me against you because I don't know you. But I'm going to do what's right because I know the law. I know the policies of the ABC board, fire department, police department. So when you're trying to do the right thing and they're trying to litigate saying that you are not, that is not fair. That's why we have to stay with the system that we got. So everybody that wants to do business in the city of Virginia Beach will have an opportunity to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no additional registered speakers.
You may approach the mic.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Newman Lewis. I didn't intend to speak today, but I do want to put it on record that I am supportive of the 10-1 system that we have now. It is about 3 things. 1, accountability. I am a member of this District 4. There's my councilwoman. And when we have issues that need to be dealt with, we know who we can go to. Other people have already stated that it is important that all of the city issues are addressed. When we have someone who is accountable to us, then we can go directly to that person, hold that person accountable, and expect things to be done. Secondly, the cost of running a campaign is ridiculous in this country. And so I agree with those who have indicated that it would save money and allow individuals who want to serve but may not have a lot of finances to run in this district and other districts. I would hope that we are able to vote in November for the 10-1 system. Thank you.
Thank you. We still have more time if you're interested in commenting. You can. It's okay. Just state your name again at the mic.
I'm Ethelene Harris, and I just wanted to say, I think that our whoever runs should stay in our district because then they'll have a more understanding of what's going on in our community. Because if they're living outside the district, then how do they know what's going on? And plus, they don't come around. Like I had mentioned, I have never seen any of the politicians come in our neighborhood. And in fact, I just watched them come and take pictures. And that's it. And then I never hear from them again. And I have other concerns because I am legally blind. And in my community at the Grand Market, they have all of a sudden put 18-wheelers along the side of the whole neighborhood. And I'm like thinking, is this an industrial park now? So I just would like that fixed because it distracts my hearing to walk across the street safely with all those diesels. And I'm concerned because with the trafficking going on and the melanated people are being taken as far as trafficking and stuff, all those 18-wheelers, their trailers are just sitting in the middle of our neighborhood. So I would love our representative to come in and assist with cleaning that out, and I would love to be a part of that as well. That's why I'm saying I'm going to keep my eyes open, even though I'm legally blind, and find out who is taking care of our area, because I want to be safe in my area, and I want the children to be safe in the neighborhood, and I want the elders to be safe in the neighborhood. So thank you.
Thank you. May.
Hi, just kind of an afterthought. One is, I think the 10-1 district is nice because it forces all the Congress people to work together. There's no collusion that, well, let's all take care of this or let's do that. It forces them, they have to work together because they have equal representation. The other thing I would like to see would be term limits. I think 12 years or something like that is enough time. It's time to move on and get fresh blood in there.
Can you state your name again?
Glenn Gilman.
Thank you. All right. Well, I want to thank you all out for coming out tonight. In a review of next steps, later this summer, all of the key findings from listening sessions, emails, everything sent to the speakupvb.com, as well as the surveys, will be presented to council to review. Would you like to come to the mic?
I'm Dr. Ross Hammond. Just for you to understand, you didn't see me come up to do this because I'm part of council, so I'm mainly listening. But I had to address one part to do with Alethea Gibson. Where is she? Okay. Was just telling her we have people seeing about that. I've called that in fact, yesterday, and we walked and saw the 18-wheelers, just so she knows that, yes, she was hurt. I talked with her. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we want to thank you all for coming out. We do have a few more sessions. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends to come out to the leftover session so we can hear your voice. Thank you, Councilwoman, for being here tonight. Drive safe.